Need something to help perk you up for prepping your next D&D session? Or maybe you need to chill out before bed after some amazing RP? Well, Mini Worlds Tavern has you covered with an assortment of coffees and teas to get you through your day. Can't decide? Get on their monthly subscription plan and get a new coffee or tea to your mailbox every month, along with a set of dice, a sticker, and a homebrewed item or spell for your next character build. Use code Shelly for 10% off your next order. Again, that's code Shelly, SHELLY, for 10% off your order, excluding the monthly subscription. Drink well, roll better. Mini Worlds Tavern. Hello and welcome back to After the Table, a TTRPG podcast. 'Tis I, your favorite drag queen and GM and actual play performer, Shelly Von Miller. I don't know how this happened to me. How did this life happen? I know how it happened, but still, it's one of those things. So obviously I'm in drag. I've been in drag for a lot of part of the season. There you go. I can't talk. But that's because I've been wanting to do more drag content and more content in drag. But it's really tiring. But for this person, I will do anything to include get in drag from the chest down.
No, the whole thing.
I'm not cinched. Oh,
I am cinched. I am padded. I got the titties on. I am in a full look. I have tights on, ma'am. The only thing I'm not wearing is shoes.
Wow. Well, so speaking of drag.
And underwear.
And underwear, of course. Yeah. This episode, we have drag queen, actual play performer, and my favorite Nosferatu. Welcome to the table, Juicy Garland. Hello,
Hi.
Darling. I like how I'm being showed off. I like how I'm being shown up on my own show.
Hell yeah. I am also your other favorite drag queen, and GM, and AP performer. I'm a hot mess. And we are kindred spirits.
It's true. I think we decided at PAX Unplugged, it goes Persephone.
Yes.
You.
Yes.
I think there was somebody else, and then me.
I don't know. You're pretty freaking awesome. Who's the other drag queen in this space?
I don't remember.
I don't either. And you know what? If we don't remember them...
I'm third.
Yeah, you're third.
I'm your third favorite drag queen turned GM and actual play performer.
And universally, Persephone is our favorite drag queen and everyone else.
It's true.
We know it. And it's
true. She's
so pretty.
Love that goofball to death. I'd let her throw me around whenever.
Yes, but let's talk about us, because we're better.
It's true. It's true. Because we're here.
Correct.
So, okay, I think I know the answer. Mm-hmm. But what came first, drag or TTRPGs?
I did. But TTRPGs came way earlier. So, yeah, I started playing Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 back in college. Oh, God, I'm going to age myself. Back in 2004. And
it's okay. It's old bitches in this place.
It's true. Oh, yeah. Just call me grandma. All my friends do. But I always wanted to do drag, and I was always too much of a fucking cow. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, a fucking course you can.
Okay, I was always too much of a fucking coward. And I didn't start doing drag until about 2018, when I made a really good friend who was doing drag, and I thought, that bitch is ugly. I can do drag.
So we started doing drag the same year. I started in 2018 as well.
Yeah. And it was messy. It was not cute.
Same.
No.
Same.
Yeah. But no,
yeah, the hair, bad.
Yeah, it was so bad. But you know what? You have to... So for everybody out there who wants to do creative stuff, no matter what it is... Mm-hmm. Embrace failure, because it's always garbage the first time you try something new, and that's not only okay, but it should be embraced. Embrace the cringe. We don't worry about cringe in this house, and then you run with it, and you practice, and you learn, and you get better, and then you're cute.
It's true. It's true. Look, there's very few, like, not all, not to use this name, but we're not all Shangela, not our first year in drag going on Drag Race and then you know, working up from there. We are working in local bars most of the time.
Yes.
Just
Messy places,
doing it for nothing.
audiences who don't care,
Exactly.
with just mean, fresh drag queens who are just as ugly as you are, but think they're prettier.
Kid, you think you got it bad? Trust me, I was doing drag in the early 2000s.
Well, I
Jesus.
know Charlie Hides, so I got stories about drag in the 80s.
Oh my god. I everybody makes fun of Charlie just because of, like,
Well, that the brown face, but
yeah.
not cool, but she's basically my drag grandma, and she's always been really sweet to me. During the pandemic, I started doing this weekly drag bingo game that she was running, and I brought my shitty drag. It was bad at the time, but she encouraged me, and it was every single week. So during the pandemic, I forced myself to sew a new look every single week for a whole year, and that's how my drag got good.
I will say this right now. So I'm a little bit different. I started doing drag because of drag competitions.
Yeah.
And that's how I got better. Is just doing week after week, new things, like, and also, oh God, I always give this advice to anybody who's wanting to get into like drag or burlesque, because I do both.
Hell yeah.
If you have the time, one, always backstage for somebody. And two, always ask questions. Be backstage, ask questions, watch people get ready, just...
And honestly, more people need to learn this rule. Don't be an asshole.
Oh, God. Don't think you're better just because you're new.
Yeah, and even if you start off having a real good handle on, say, makeup, you need to learn a lot about performance over time, no matter how good you think you are. And that's what stops a lot of people from getting gigs, is just being a jerk backstage. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I haven't been going to shows lately, is like, it's not because I'm a jerk. It's just like, I don't have, that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why my nickname, ever since I was a child, was Bitch. Just saying. It's one of those things, like, okay, I guess this goes into AP as well. What did you take from, like, all your time backstage in the clubs and elsewhere to your AP performance? Because, I mean, there's not a lot of us drag performers kicking around in the scene. It's just like, again, it's three of us and then maybe like a handful of others.
Yeah, because I've been trying to do AP with my drag since 2020. And my presence confused a lot of people, and it wasn't until the Drag Race girls did Dungeons and Drag Queens, and that's when I became cool. A lot of it is also my acting background. I did a lot of theater in high school and in college, and I got to very fortunately work with some incredible directors who had worked on Broadway and in New York, and I learned a lot from them. But, like, the drag in particular taught me about commitment to the bit and really showed me how delicious it is to act a fool. I am a way better chaos goblin because I did drag. And I will do anything. And I have so few red lines because my firm belief is that anything can be tackled if it's handled responsibly. And a lot of that comes from the drag, and drag spaces being spaces where you can just about comment on anything as long as you handle it responsibly. And drag is edgy and weird, and that's totally my jam as a player as well.
And it's also punk. I mean, like, drag is punk.
Yep.
It's punk as fuck. And I think a lot of people, oh God, I think we talked about this at Unplugged. A lot of people forget about the punk aspect of telling stories.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, we want to make sure everybody's comfortable at the table, but we're also making sure that we're telling stories that are impactful and worth telling.
Yeah. Well, and, like, if there are no stakes, how can you even be uncomfortable? Like, a little bit of discomfort is good and healthy. And especially in storytelling, for the storytelling to be compelling, you have to have stakes. You have to have a little discomfort. you have to really push your own boundaries to explore something new and find something fresh.
Yeah. I think that's why, like, you do World of Darkness stuff. I love World of Darkness stuff. And I think because it's that, it kind of rides the line of being way too uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well,
To
same thing with Monster Hearts, right? Like Monster Hearts having a sexual romantic component explicitly and prominently in the rules, of which there aren't many, is really remarkable in sort of the natural way taboo topics can come up, challenging topics can come up. I mean, like in All Our Faults, we've encountered everything from sexual assault to like romantic sex scenes to interfamilial violence and abuse and all sorts of topics that happen because we play our characters feral, right? And we lean into the rule set and engage with it and aren't afraid because we have trust at the table. And I love games like that. That's also why I love Delta Green, because Delta Green takes what Call of Cthulhu does and makes it more human. Like the sanity system giving you the opportunity to project onto your bonds, which means that you then later on have to go and figure out how you hurt your family and friends by projecting this psychic damage on them and blaming them for your own foibles and troubles and traumas. Like, that's deeply human, and it really generates some challenging conversations and interactions that are delicious when you embrace them and just go for it.
And I think you brought up like a good point. Like, trust is the one thing. And I think that's another thing I took with me from the drag scene is like, you kind of have to trust the people that you're backstage with.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it can make for a very uncomfortable show.
Yeah.
How do you approach building that trust at the table?
Yeah, I mean, I said before we started, session zeros make me horny, and I meant it.
Yeah.
Like, session zeros are so critical for communicating what people's boundaries are, but also communicating where we're going to plan to go. And sometimes those things run into conflict, and it's way safer for everybody to sort that out in advance, right? And having open and honest conversations, but also having the ability to really pause a conversation if something goes too far for you or anyone else at the table, and to also offer like aftercare. If you have the kind of game like I do with All Our Faults, where we hit heavy stuff, aftercare is critical to really check in with each other when we stop recording to make sure we're all okay. Because some recordings are really challenging and character bleed is real. And that's hard to manage when you go to those harder, darker places.
Yeah, I think, oh God, that... And I think with those, like, heavier TTRPG systems, like, I haven't played Delta Green, but...
We'll change that one of these days.
Yes,
Yeah.
you know, but I've played other darker systems. Candela Obscura kind of works with that. World of Darkness games definitely do that. And it's kind of one of those things you kind of learn and you're like, oh, yeah, this is kind of like a symbiotic relationship. You've kind of all got to make sure everyone's good before anything can go forward. And if you have people that don't want to talk about their feelings after the fact, it can bubble. I mean, it's happened at a table that I was at, or, you know, and eventually we talked it out and we're like, hey, we got to fix something, or, you know, and I think that, oh God, I don't know. I think it's also adulting.
Yeah, well, that, like, if you're choosing to engage in stories like this, you also have to prepare yourself to engage in stories like this. And it's everyone's responsibility to pay attention to everyone else, but also, like, if you have boundaries, be honest about them up front and be okay with not playing if the game is designed to challenge your boundaries in a way you're not comfortable with. And communication is key.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's one thing that no matter if it's at the table or elsewhere, communication is one thing that is the first thing that people bring up. Is like, communication was just lacking. It's like, well,
Well, why? And I
yeah.
mean, I get it. Sometimes personalities conflict, and that's a factor. But if you're in a long form project, I think it's really important to sort that out before you start playing. And I haven't heard any direct horror stories in a while, but they do happen. And I've had people like talk to me about issues they've had where people were belligerent or really didn't respect declared red lines, which is just absolutely unacceptable. I've had fewer, at least, people tell me that they didn't communicate their needs early enough. So I think, at least in the AP space generally, that's less frequent. I think that's more frequent at like home games and personal tables or like hobby store tables where people play with strangers. Which is fine
Yeah.
if everyone adults.
If everyone adults properly.
Yeah, or like if the games are kept with light subject matter, right? And the GM reinforces more, say, PG-13 or PG like content, I think that's important too, just sort of setting the standard.
Oh, goodness. How do you utilize those kind of safety precautions at your table do you GM? Do
Oh
you?
yeah, IGM, yeah.
Yeah, so like,
Yeah,
how do
I've
you
had
use
moments
those?
where I actually crossed some red lines GMing in a game that was streaming, and we handled it on the side, and it was like, hey, pause, this is a red line, and I realized, like, I had just made a mistake. I stopped it, and I pivoted away, and it was fine. I'm never going to tell a person no, right? It's making sure that there is space, either verbally and openly, which I'm always comfortable with, or on the side, depending on the comfort level of the player, like letting them tell me and being vigilant about that. Sometimes you make mistakes, and as long as they're earnest mistakes and you pivot, that's fine. I think the key thing for me is when I'm playing is I often, if I'm concerned about crossing a line, even if it's not declared, or if like conversations get intense, I will directly message someone to check in. A recent recording of All Our Faults, I was fairly antagonistic because I was in my darkest self, and I checked in with the other players who were in that scene because their characters were unhappy. I wanted to make sure that the players were okay, and we were, and it was fine. But I think it's important to be proactive about those kinds of interactions because they can be rough and there can be character bleed, and you want to make sure you are responsible about that with the people who trust you to be responsible.
That's amazing. Okay, so are you still performing in clubs?
Yes, less frequently though, because my life is too damn busy. And that's the trouble, is my recording schedule is really heavy, my day job is really intense, and that doesn't leave me with a lot of time to do live shows. I did do a live show, a live play, actually, in December. The Boston Gamers group, they helped coordinate an all-drag cast with Eric from the Queer XP, who's a good close friend of mine. I love Eric to death. And he GM'd Brindlewood Bay. And I played Dottie Lajeski, Hot Ticket Grandma, and it was excellent. I was a hot mess. I'm mad. So I've been doing this specific old lady look for years. And it looks like the aunt from oh my god, that movie about the witch with the crazy wig and the glasses. I'm brain farting. It just came out in the summer or fall.
Now I'm confused. Okay, summer, fall.
A horror movie.
Oh, I have no idea. Brain. We'll edit this out.
Aunt Gladys.
Oh, yeah.
My classic old lady look looks like Aunt Gladys, and
Oh
I'm
my
so
God.
mad because at the live show, everyone asked if I was doing Aunt Gladys cosplay, and it's literally a look I've been doing since 2020.
You're like, how dare you? How dare you?
It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. But
God
yeah, But yeah, I love that look, and it was so fun to just be an old lady causing a ruckus, and that was a really fun live show. We have more, hopefully, going to happen at PAX East, so hopefully we'll get a live play at PAX East.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, my in-person performances are less frequent these days because of my schedule.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, like, I know for me and a lot of people in the nightlife community, COVID was a big thing. Yeah. And a lot of us, you know, got sick or had to start over in new cities or, you know, don't necessarily like being that close to people anymore at a gig. How did COVID change your performance in person, but like also at the AP space?
Yeah, well, like that's when I hunkered down and my drag was able to get better because I was just laid into like making things, practicing my makeup, like practicing lip syncs, constantly having a goal. Because like Charlie for the drag bingo would always set a theme. So not only would I be making a look every week, it would be to a theme set by someone else to someone else's standard. And it was a Drag Race girl, even if she went home early and ridiculously. But I usually don't talk about this much in the space, but I have a day job that pays the bills. So I was able to focus on my drag and the things I really valued doing in my drag, specifically sewing, costume design, working on my makeup because it was rough earlier on. And also like styling wigs. I style all my own wigs as well. And I just try to make everything I wear whenever I possibly can. For me, I was able to then come out of the pandemic getting on stage. And I was on stage a lot, almost weekly, right out of the gate from the pandemic. I was doing, there's what's called the drag stroll here at not Club Cafe, it's at Jacques. There are a couple clubs in Boston. Jacques is one of them, so is Club Cafe. But I did the drag stroll quite a bit. I did a few other more like paid performances that I really liked, and I wanted to keep doing in-person drag, but my drag doesn't really fit in with the Boston vibe. The Boston queens tend to either be edgy, sort of gender fucky queens, kings, and things, or so they're very punk, or they tend to be like classic 90s era drag queens. Some of them are that old, and that you can hear their bones rattle. But my drag, being more of an old Hollywood, Broadway-style drag, where I favor lip syncs from like old standards, old jazz songs, Broadway. I'm not really like a bubble pop girly. So that's actually why I started doing AP, was because I knew my drag wasn't gonna fit in, and I knew my drag wasn't really right for this city. So I took my drag to do AP because I knew eventually it would be an asset, and I could really do any drag I wanted to because I wasn't confined to like the expectations of drag culture in a space because there wasn't one.
Yeah, as somebody who also lived in a city and started doing drag, mine evolved into something I wanted, which is more punk and, you know, punk adjacent, little gothy, witchy.
Yeah.
And living in Dallas, Fort Worth, where it's pageant queens and, you know, the internationally known Rose Room and things like that, people are like, and now I live in Houston, and it's more or less the same. It's like pop, you know.
The higher the hair, the closer to God.
Yes, ma'am. It's very much that, and it's kind of weird to be not in a great space where you're like, oh, I want to get gigs.
Yes.
But people won't necessarily like what I do. So you kind of have to like feed the beast of, I've done it. I'll have something that's mine, and then I'll add something that will get me, you know, tips of like a pop or like a popular top 40 or, you know, something outrageously stupid. Because, you know, at one point, I was a working queen. I was booked 2 to 3 times a week. It was one of those things. I was like,
God, you were grinding. Jeez.
I was, yeah, from 2018 to 2020, I was 2 to 3 times a week doing competitions. I eventually got like regular cast at a bar. Like,
hell yeah.
It was a lot. And
Yeah.
I was also in grad school at the time, so.
Yeah.
But
And I was sort of running ragged because of the day job. I was so exhausted that I had to make a choice between like killing myself and being exhausted to try making real money in the city or pursuing creative endeavors that really fueled me. Because I would have had to modify my drag in ways I just didn't love. And I wanted to do the art I really thrived in. And I wanted to do the kind of performance I preferred, which is acting over lip syncing. So that's why I pivoted and really leaned into actual play. And I'm very happy I did. But I am lucky in that I have a day job that pays the bills so I can. Otherwise, I'd have to choose the day job over the drag.
yeah, I will say this right now. I'm fairly lucky and was lucky whenever I first started. I was in grad school getting paid
Yes.
to be in grad school. And then also, like, I'm disabled, so I get disability pay. So it's like one of those things. It's like, I'm very fortunate enough to have the money, and like, this is something to help me creatively, like, thrive. And I think a lot of people don't realize that there are working drag queens that are like, not just like the working drag queens that this is their full-time job, but like there are drag queens who have an outside thing. And I think they see drag race girls and they're like, oh, they're doing this full-time. Are you? And I'm like, I wish.
Right? Yeah.
I wish I had that booking fee. Are you kidding me? I'd be happy.
Oh, yeah, if I could replace my income with performance, I'd do it in a heartbeat, right? But Boston's an expensive city.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking to go to Boston for grad school, and I was just like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Rents alone are ridiculous here.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard. I've heard. I've seen. I was like, oh, never mind. So, I guess, do you have... Because there's more and more drag queens getting into nerd spaces. I mean, we see it with Dungeons and Drag Queens and the Dungeons and Drag Queens like touring group that they have. Not the same people, but you know, different people. And also like we have Bosco and Irene starting their Magic the Gathering stuff. Like more queens are wanting to get into streaming and more like off stage, kind of diversify what they're doing. What's some advice that you would give drag performers who are wanting to do that?
Oh God. I mean, if they already have a platform, they can probably command like paid gigs, right? But there's a lot of unpaid labor in this space, and you have to get comfy with that. And eventually it does pay back, but you need to really work your ass off and grind and get used to the performance style. But also, the only way to do this is to be excited about the nerd shit. Like, you have to really love playing tabletop games to do AP, because so much of it is unpaid labor and it has to be a labor of love. And if you're lucky, you get paid reasonable money, right? And if that is the case, they can try to sort of milk that opportunity for money, but I don't know how much is there for them. So it had better also be a labor of love, because that also reads to the audience. And if you're just doing it to do it because you think you might hit a gold mine, that reads.
It's the same with getting on Drag Race or like any of these drag competitions. It's the luck of the draw. If you're lucky enough to be on there and, you know, you have the passion to do it.
Yep. And the delusion.
And the delusion. If you're, I mean, yeah, the delusion. Oh my God. You're pretending to be something else that you're not. A lot of hours in a day. It's like,
right?
it's like, hey,
And it's just,
I'm going to hold your
from
hand.
everything I've heard, it sounds like hell.
What? Pretending to be something else?
No, doing Drag Race.
Oh, doing Drag Race. Oh, God.
Yeah, right?
God. No. I'm kind of glad that they don't want women on there. They don't want cis women. Let me get that correct.
Yeah.
They don't want cis women.
Yeah. I feel like I could make a good, strong mid-game performance. Is where I feel like I could fit in, just especially on some years.
Yeah.
But just selling your... Ooh, what's this?
Selling your soul.
Yeah, selling your soul to WoW just does not sound like a
And
fun
MTV
time.
now. WoW
Yeah.
and MTV.
Yeah.
And MTV is not even MTV anymore.
No, it's not.
I think I'd do better at, like, Dragula.
I see that.
Yeah. I was actually...
I would debase myself for them.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
That would be fun. I was going to audition a few years ago for Dragula, and then I was like, nah, I can't do it. I'm like, I was just like, I don't have the energy right now. I don't have the energy.
That's why God invented stimulants. If there's anything I've
That's
learned.
true. Red Bull, my best friend sometimes, like, energy drinks.
Just give me an IV drip of espresso.
Oh my gosh.
This is how I live. It's just coffee constantly.
Oh, you're gonna do amazing overseas.
I know.
There's also AP performers who are wanting to diversify themselves as well and kind of dip their toe into other creative functions. Whether that's, I know some AP people who are like, oh, I'm going to do burlesque. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, I've seen D&D or, like, fantasy TikTok people get into burlesque. And I'm like, or
Then
cosplay.
do it. Yeah. The advice
What
is
is some
just fucking do
advice?
it. Get out
just
there,
fucking do it.
be
Yeah.
cringe. Embrace the cringe. You're going to be cringe no matter what you do, so embrace it.
Do
Embrace
it.
or be a coward.
Don't be a coward, though.
Yeah,
don't.
be a
This
coward.
is our advice. Don't
Yeah.
be a coward.
Yeah, exactly. You the only way to do it is to face your fear and be cringe and just get good. And you only get good by being cringe.
Yeah. I will say this right now. Be okay with not looking your best.
Yes.
It's not even the cringe part. It's like, embrace the suck. Go back to your teenage years. Unless you're... like, I was fortunate enough, and I got told this quite a few times in my early drag career, that I was like... They're like, you're actually really good at makeup. I'm like, I've been making content. I was doing beauty influencing before that. So I was already doing stupid makeup online and things like that. So they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, man. I'm here.
Yep. And and my philosophy is if the lashes are big enough, you never have to learn how to do makeup.
That part.
Yep.
Oh God, these are so small. I've been wearing these for camera, but if I'm in person, most of the time, I will pull out my 5-stackers.
Oh yeah. These are my nice conservative lashes.
Yeah. Like, oh look, these look huge to camera, but like I've been told, they're like, what is up with your eyelashes? Why are they so big? Like in person? And I'm like, so this is like 5 stacks of 301s.
Yup.
They're like, what? I'm like, yeah. Trust me, this is conservative compared to like people like Trixie Mattel.
Oh my God.
Trixie, freaking, who is it? There's some other drag queens that I know that, like, they'll do bottom lashes as well, and I'm like, I can't do bottom lashes.
I tried doing bottom lashes.
Same.
And I didn't love how it looked on my face. And because I'm trying to, like, reproduce sort of a Judy aesthetic, I do, like, a line under the eye, and then I do mascara on the lower lashes, and then a white waterline. But, like, if I wanted to do Liza, I'd put on another pair of lashes underneath.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
I didn't like the feel of the bottom lashes because my cheeks, my cheekbones are like whenever I do this, or
Yeah,
I'm
you have
like,
very chipmunk cheeks.
yeah, I have chipmunk cheeks. I'm a big girl, so I got big face features, and so like having bottom lashes, it's kind of like, ooh,
I can
I
see
don't like
that. And
how
then
it
you like
looks.
feel them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas, like,
Oh, and I could feel them. It
yeah,
was
I get a
gross.
crease when I squint under my eye, and if I put the lower lashes there, they feel fine.
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also and yeah, my makeup changes depending on the gig as well. If I'm trying to do something specific, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh God, I could go into. What are some of your makeup? Your makeup things that you carry on through all your looks.
Yeah. Thin brows. Thin brows that look vaguely related. I definitely have. I'm bad with eyeliner, no matter what I do, no matter how many times I practice. So a big lash. And then I tend to not go too intense on a gradient on my eye. And I tend to keep it kind of soft because I'm evoking a mid-century or like a wartime era look usually. So they didn't go that heavy with the makeup until like the late 50s into the like 60s. So I keep it kind of blank and just make sure there's enough white underneath the brow. And then for me, I spend a lot of time on my lips. I'm very particular about my lips, and it's always the same color. I wear Besame's Red Hot every time.
Well, there you go. There you
Yep.
go. I'm a, oh, gosh, I for my eyeliner and my eyebrows, because sometimes I shave off my eyebrows. That's a thing I do. It gets some people glue them down, and I'm like, well, yeah, because you have a day job.
Yeah.
You have to act like a human.
Yes. To be a corporate shill. Yes.
Yeah. Whenever I was in grad school, I didn't care. I was just like, I'll just draw them on if I want to. And also I have like huge glasses outside of drag, and so they just like cover the eyebrow, and I'm just like, whatever.
Heck yeah.
But mine is sometimes it's like bushy eyebrows or like thinner eyebrows, like 90s cunty eyebrows. Because I'm a 90s delusional millennial.
I love that for you. On the other hand,
you.
I'm someone's angry grandmother who everyone is afraid of.
I'm the bitchy 90s elder millennial that everyone's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. No, I'm not.
Correct answer.
Correct. But for my eyeliner and my eyebrows, I always say cousins, not sisters.
Yep.
And because people are like, oh, sisters, not twins. And I'm like, no. Cousins, not sisters. You give the illusion that they look similar because they're in the same family, but like, you know something's off.
Yeah. Well, and like my eyebrows, my natural eyebrows are actually very uneven. Thank God I wear glasses. So because they're uneven, it's actually really hard for me to map out where the drawn brows go, because I have to kind of triangulate and not use the same reference point on the brow to start. So it drives me bananas. But that's...
I have a little bit of a lazy eye, so I understand all too well. It's like...
Yeah, and the more tired I get, the more one lid droops.
It's like...
Hey.
Yeah. Oh, the good times. The good times of doing drag, and you're like, well, my face isn't symmetrical, and no matter how much Botox I put in my face, it's not going to happen. Or filler. I know plenty of...
There's something I heard Miss Cracker say on the TV machine once, and that's, I'm not trying to convince them I'm a woman, I'm trying to convince them I'm a drag queen. So, mission
that part.
accomplished. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very much, whenever people are like, oh, you do drag? Oh, are you like soft? I'm like,
no.
I'm a clown. I'm a clown in a wig.
Yep.
I'm a clown.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? I was playing D&D at TwitchCon a few years ago, and before we got to TwitchCon, everybody was giving their like lines of veils, and somebody said, oh, I don't like clowns. And I said, okay, I'm not coming to the table in drag. They're like, oh, so you're fine. They're no, you can do that. And I showed them a picture. They're like, actually, yeah, please, I'm kind of glad you did it. I'm like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a clown. Are you kidding me? I honk, bitch. Give me $1. Like,
That, all of that, yes.
Yeah, like before COVID, I was licking foreheads, stapling shit to me. Like I was full on grungy.
Oh, Boston
Fucking.
would love you.
I would love to perform in Boston. PAX East? PAX East? I don't know.
Make
Ooh.
it work.
I don't know. I gotta contact people. Cough.
Yes.
So you, like I said in your intro, you're my favorite Nosferatu.
Thank you.
How did that character come into into the forefront of your mind?
I was playing Philly by Night, and we haven't played in a long time. I hope we start back up someday because that's one of my favorite streams I've ever done. And I just love Nosferatu just so much in Vampire the Masquerade. I think there's such an interesting take on vampires. Obviously, taking from the original movie, but adding a bunch of other stuff in there. The idea of like a goblin-y little weirdo who's just always sad and angry, who just is repulsive to everyone, but is also
a drag queen.
Yes, but like is also the only one connected to the modern world in any way, because they often know technology. So I also wanted to, like, vampires to me, I think are like heavy with symbolism. And what I really wanted to explore with that character too was mourning, loss. So I envisioned like an early 20th century hyper wealthy fail son who was turned by a Nosferatu and then had like a romance, but then the maker dies. And in my imagination, they like toured Europe, were in Weimar, Germany. Germany fell, and his maker was murdered by Nazis, goes into torpor after going back to Philly crying, and then stays asleep for about 100 years, and then wakes up and discovers Twitter. Like, just what a fun concept. Like, I imagined him both managing like a cat image aggregator of cats in clothing at cat pajamas, and then having like a VTube career as like a big titty anime waifu on Twitch, playing like League of Legends.
I think that is like the best Nosferatu job. It's just VTuber.
No one has to see you.
Or
you can
like
be as weird as you want.
Twitter troll with like the anime, freaking Avatar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, too, like, I imagined him clinging to the past because of that mourning and loss. So in person, he's always wearing these, like, long, flowy, comfortable 20s era gowns that are just so lush. In his, like, Philadelphia Center City high-rise apartment that he had, like, built because he still has access to the money to look like a 1920s era mansion. But then there's his, like, streaming room with a bevy of computers with like LED fans just glowing and humming. Just the like contrast of different like textures and images and aesthetics really intrigued me. Just like the idea of like ugliness in the form of a Nosferatu being paired with these elegant dripping gowns. Like what a delicious contrast. And that's how Alexander just popped into my mind.
It also reminds me, oh god, I can't remember. It's American Horror Story Hotel.
Yes.
Is it what's that character's name?
Ooh, I don't know.
I want to say Liza, and I'm like, that's not right. It's like
Liza.
Liza.
I just think, Liza, bring me the pills.
Perfect.
Yep.
I can't remember. Maybe it was Marilyn, or it's one of those like old Hollywood names.
Yeah.
And like it's just bald head, big earrings, weird fucking outfits, and it's just like, okay, this is what I think a Nosferatu would look like if they had like a semi-normal face, even though they did look like otherworldly.
Right.
It's like,
yeah.
oh gosh. What is another clan that you would want to play if you got invited to another vampire table?
Ventru or Toreador. Like, I like to imagine a Dracula. but like Dracula in like a high-end 1980s power business suit with like long raven black hair and like talons for hands on long fingers, just observing and waiting like a
Just
spider. Yes.
ooh, like a
Yeah,
spider.
right?
Oh, ooh,
And
like in a corner.
yeah, constantly scheming.
That's
And
a Ventru. Well, that's also a Toreador.
yeah,
So let's
and
be
I want
real.
a Toreador who is like an installation artist who is obsessed with turning their victims into art and
Serial killer.
making every feeding artful. Every
Oh,
feeding
that's
is a performance, even if it's to no one but the victim. I love
interesting.
that
Interesting. I've played a Bruja, I've played a Ventru, and well, I'm currently playing a Ventru, and I'm currently playing a Ministry character.
idea.
I'm like, eventually I will play them all. I think my backup character for my Ventru is gonna. I asked last night before we went live, and I was like, hey, can my backup character be a Zimitzi if this character ever dies? And the ST was like, yes.
Amazing.
Yes. And I'm like, flesh crafting, here I come.
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna be disgustingly weird. I love it.
I miss playing Vampire so much.
Oh, I love
I haven't
Vampire.
played it in ages, and I really want to.
Taking notes.
Notes for later. Ooh.
Notes for later. Notes for later. Well, okay, I'm gonna poke it and be like, what are you excited about in the AP space?
What am I excited about? Okay. So I'm excited for me because I have plans this year. I want to make something. I've done so much performance with and for other people and other networks, and I love what I do, but I have had an idea in my brain for so long, and I just need to get it out of my brain. And I'm setting a goal for myself to finish. It's like a 5-season arc I have envisioned. It playing Delta Green in the 1950s, and I have wanted to do that. And I've been actually looking since long before I did APs for the kind of game I could use to pull off sci-fi B-movie aesthetic, but treat it seriously and not make it a joke. Because the movies are good, actually, many of them. And this year, I really want to get this like 5-arc adventure path written and pull together a cast and get some music made so I can really like put the best possible actual play together that I can. And I'm ready for it. I had a wild realization at the new year that kind of shocked me and left me a little apoplectic for a couple of days. In 2024, I did 118 engagements, whether it was live performances, recordings, or streams. A full third of my year in 2024. And a lot changed in my life in 25. And as a result, I set a goal to do less because I was so overwhelmed by everything in 2024. And on the last day of the year, I went back and counted all of my recordings and live shows and other engagements. And I had 103. And I had thought I had done maybe 50. And thanks to a number of changes in my life, I'm just not overwhelmed all the time. And I really focused last year as well on picking more quality streams to be part of better content, so that way what I'm doing is more satisfying, so that way it was worth the time I was putting in. And this year, I just want to make something. And what I'm going to make is that sci-fi B-movie style series playing Delta Green and really leaning into the horror of that period. And I am so excited to just finally get some stuff made. And I'm going to do that. And by the end of this year, I will be recording. I am determined.
I'm excited for that because 1950s, a lot of people are like, oh, it's like, the new world is happening. It's post-war. I'm like, it's not great for everybody around the
No, it's
world.
not. But also, there was
Not even in the United States.
yeah, but also just the level of paranoia in the period is so unreal. Like, things are bad now for many reasons. Things were not great in the 50s for different reasons. And part of it was, of course, like overt systemic racism, but also the paranoia just required for the Cold War to happen was so unhinged. And the Red Scare going on in DC was wild, but also the way like the film industry was affected and the way everyone was accused of being a communist and being blacklisted from producing content, which was a way of censoring dissent. The whole period is so fascinating to me because it's so simultaneously presented as idyllic, but also extremely paranoiac. And I really want to play in that sandbox.
I mean, I think games like Delta Green and Call of Cthulhu are perfect for that because of that sanity gauge and like just oof.
Yeah. And Call of Cthulhu doesn't really have any like resources for the 50s.
No.
And when
I think the closest so they have like a one shot that's like a 2-player game that's in the 90s.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Like the closest that they get in that time period is like 1930s, 1940s.
Yeah, because they have World War Cthulhu and the 30s era stuff, but it kind of drops off. And actually, I complained at the people who run Chaosium at
it's fine.
years ago, and I was just like, "Where's the 50s stuff? I want to make content in this." And they just went, "We have a book coming," and I went, "Okay, when?" And no answer, and it's still not out. So I don't know. That was what, like 2 years ago. 2 years ago now, because it was in 24, and that that's how long I've been thinking about this project. Way longer than that. And I see Delta Green as better serving the game I want to play because like I've been studying so many of these movies from the 50s and the 60s. The way people react to like alien unnatural entities is very much like a Call of Cthulhu or Delta Green like sand roll in the way it just is very rapid and unreal the way it occurs. But the bonds mechanic in Delta Green make all of that more human and bring it all home. So I'm gonna absolutely do it in Delta Green because they also don't have resources for the 50s yet either. I know they're also working on a book for like mid-century Delta Green ops.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see this. What are you not excited about in the AP space?
More all-white tables.
Let's get shady.
More all-white tables. We're gonna start there.
I don't know what's happening lately, but I keep seeing some like all white tables or all white, no offense, but like all white men tables. And I'm like, It's like, hi, men in the world. I don't want to see you all together.
Cis male white GMs. I'm not excited about them. I've had enough of that. And this is something Emma from Tabletop Tailspinners has pointed out for years, is that if you look at all of the tables, even the nominally diverse ones, almost invariably the GM is a cis white straight male, or presenting as such. Yeah, exactly. So I'm here to make the GM space a little more gay and a little less cis, with my weird gender and agnostic self.
We love that.
Yeah. I don't know if gender exists.
Gender's a construct. Yeah, gender is there for you to feel better on certain days that you want to present as that.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm like, I'm feeling this.
Shapeshifter. Who the fuck cares? What is gender? Don't know her.
Don't know her.
But yeah, I'm not excited for that. Also, I am likely moving to Europe, and I am not excited to be away from all of my American friends in the AP space. But I'm going to find ways to come back for cons. I'm going to at least come back for Gen Con.
Yeah.
Necronomicon is also this year right after that.
Ooh.
So I'm going to try to come back for about a month and like
Ooh.
visit.
Where is
fandom
Necronomicon?
Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh.
So I could do Gen Con, go home for a week, and then do Necronomicon. I believe the dates line up like that. But leaving the fiance back in Germany once we're there with the dog.
Oh no. Poor
Look,
poor
my
them.
dogs are a handful. But yeah.
They could go on walks in the Bavarian countryside.
I mean, yes. I am, however, excited to meet more of the Euro AP people. Because there are
You get to meet
European
Huddy.
AP people.
I think Huddy's in Germany.
Oh, heck yeah.
I believe so. I could be wrong. Leave comments down below.
Yeah. But yeah, and anyone who's listening who knows AP people in Europe, let me know. I want to meet more people. I don't want to be there and be alone. I want to make friends and do cool, fun stuff, and I'm going to keep doing cool, fun stuff, no matter what the time zones say. Yeah, that's exciting stuff.
Are you hoping to do more like multilingual projects in that case?
Yes. Yeah. I actually earlier last year I was supposed to be part of a multilingual project because I speak French. Not perfectly, but enough to make a fool of myself. And again, we embrace the cringe in this house. And I'm learning German. So eventually I will be fluent in German. Eventually I will get back to being near fluent in French. And I'll want to be doing performance in those languages too.
Heck yeah. Oh, that...
What?
European setting Delta Green in, like, German.
Yes.
That'd
Actually,
fucking...
it's funny. So the Delta Green guys on Delta Green Dead channels, was it? No, it was actually on Roleplay Public Radio with Ross Payton. They did a playtest of a Delta Green scenario that brought them to Germany in the 70s? Late 60s. Pre-Nixon. And that was a really cool scenario. Do recommend listening.
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. All right. What are some other games that you're interested in playing?
Okay. Oh, God. Oh, so I want to play more Alien RPG. The second edition came out. Star Trek 2D20. I have yet to get anyone to play with me. I want to play a Vulcan again so freaking bad.
You got to pull out the ears again.
I do. I have them. They're in the other room. I have 2 pairs, just in case one breaks. I love playing a Vulcan. It is hard for me to really communicate the joy being a Vulcan brings me. And I had such a good time in a mini series back in 21, which is how I met Winter, GM Mistress Winter, who GMs All Our Faults. I did that with her, and I played a Vulcan, and I had an incredible time, and I want that again. I want to do, let's see, more Brindlewood Bay would be cool. I want to finally play Wild Sea and more Slug Blaster. The Mythworks guys are amazing, and I love them, and they're all very sweet, but also their games are fantastic. Shadowdark. I want to play Shadowdark finally, because I haven't gotten to play it yet, and I have all the resources, and I really love its vibe. And it's nice to see an OSR game that's not for chuds. So I want to support Shadowdark, because fewer Nazis with that one.
You know?
Yeah.
That's too often.
There is a problem with a lot of OSR games in the space. And I'm going to acknowledge it. We're going to hold space.
As we should.
Yeah.
As we should.
But Shadowdark seems to have a better culture around it, and the people who make it are pretty cool. Hank Farnell of oh my god, he helped contribute to some of the rules and the building of the game, and I really like him. I like that system a lot. There's just so much out there. Oh! I'm just remembered. Richard Ruane, who wrote Moonlight on Roseville Beach, which is a game I love, and it's very gay, and you should all play. I want to play more of it. He came out with this self-contained one-shot game that is incredible, and it is a horror, like it's a single setting horror game where you are queer people at a gay bar on Christmas Eve. And then
Okay.
bad things happen.
I love that.
In 1979.
Well, yep, that makes sense.
It's brilliant, and it speaks to, I think, the state of the gay and queer community just before HIV became the problem. And it's fascinating, and it's really emotionally resonant, and it's horrific. And I want to play that very badly.
I'm going to make a note of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making a note of that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I got a copy from Richard, who is a sweetheart, and I've had the pleasure of meeting him a few times. Richard is the kindest soul, and I got that from him at PAX Unplugged before leaving.
Nice. I might have to grab that eventually. Yeah. I picked up, well, I was given a digital copy of, because I saw somebody else had it, of Viva La Queer Bar.
Ooh.
And it's about, like, a bunch of people running a gay bar, but it has, like, a whole back area of, like, different resources, and it talks about, like, queer culture during AIDS and HIV, and like, as like a historian in my past life, it's one of those things that like makes my heart sing whenever people put, especially stuff that's supposed to be like, you know, very centered in reality, provide that historical context. And I'm like, oh, I saw that, and I had like looked at somebody's book, and I looked at the back, and I was like, oh, I love this. I have to get this. So, yeah, that's another, I want to run that eventually. So, yeah, I'm going to have to pick up that other one that you're talking about. I'm going to probably message you to get some details. But this is the part of the podcast where I say, plug your shit, tell the people where they can find you, everything like that.
Okay, so you can find me at Juicy Garland or at juicy.garland. Search one, you'll find the other on your social media of choice. You can find me in all sorts of stuff because I am a slut. So you can find me in All Our Faults, which is a Monster Hearts 2 actual play podcast that's published by Tabletop Tailspinners. And I talked about that a lot here. It is near and dear to my heart, and I love what we're doing, and we're currently recording the early part of our new season. And that is another thing in the space I'm excited for this year, because we are starting off very strong, and I'm very happy. Also, you can see me in stuff with Roleplay Public Radio, with Ross Payton. You can see me hear me in Delta Green Dead channels, which is the official Delta Green actual play series and podcast series. You can also find me on a bunch of stuff with Game Master Monday. I did a series with them over the summer with Roll D5 occasionally, and a bunch of other stuff. There's too much to list and remember. I am so fortunate to have a lot of cool people in my life who make cool stuff and let me make it with them.
Heck yeah. I'm hoping that we're at a table eventually together, because
we need to make this happen.
Chaos.
100%.
Chaos. It's just like
spicy.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Hello. Hi. Book us. So you can find all of Juicy's links down below. They're gonna be doing some amazing things. I'm just saying, I love Juicy, so there you go. You should love Juicy too. Speaking of finding people on the internet, you can find me everywhere on the internet at Shelly Von Miller, to include Patreon, where you can pay me to make content. Hey, do you like behind the scenes? Hey, do you like world building and homebrew and all sorts of shit? Hey, that's what Patreon's for. To include, we're about to go film it, the lovely after show called Table Sets, where it's a this or that game. Paid tiers start at $7 a month, and yes, you can get it all for $25 a month of it.
For how much?
Well, for $25 a month.
That's
25.
So affordable and delightful.
So affordable and delightful, and you're supporting queer creations. I'm just saying. I might be I'm not anymore. I'm not straight presenting. Let's be fucking real. Back in the day, I was straight presenting. Whenever I did have this actual hair on my head, this is just a wig. With that being said, I love you guys very much, and I will see you on the internet. Goodbye.